Hello everyone, I'm the Legalorian, and today I'm going to be doing another lightsaber review. I'm going to be trying to get another Lego mock out in the next few weeks coming around, but until then, this is a video I've been wanting to film for a while, and I hope you enjoy. This lightsaber right here was purchased off a lightsaber company called Saberforge. I will put a link for their company in the description down below. This particular lightsaber hilt itself is called the Hunter's Creed, and if you would like to buy this, then I will put a link to where you can find this particular hilt. I will also throw up a few pictures. As you can see, here is the price over here, and this is the Hunter Creed itself. If we come over here, we can see that for finishes we have standard leather and gunmetal, and that just changes the finished look. Powder coat changes the outside metal appearance of your hilt. Those are $50 extra. Electronics, I recommend the Xeno V3 Pixel. That is as close to the one that I have in this video, and it is also the one that can connect to your phone. Come down and pick your blade length. These are blade plugs. I have the standard one, but as you can see, you can pick weathered gold and black. Each other one is also $15. If you come down here, you also have your conversion knob. You can pick none, or you can pay for one, which is $6. Come down here, you can see your finished price, which is $315.97. With the tax and shipping added, at least for me, it added up to $400 some. Now, we're going to review the hilt itself. But first, I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to get out the box that it came with. There's a large cardboard box with the SF and the symbol Saberforge, which is the company that made it. Now, we can just bring this down, and I've got all of this paper, and inside that box, I'll be showing you everything that you will be receiving. You will get a charger and a cord that just go together like this. It's got a little sticker on the outside that you can just peel off, but you're just going to plug this into the wall, and then this little cord area on your hilt, right above the activation button, there's this section. You can just plug it right in and it will charge. You will also get this saber manual, product manual, that you can just unfold. See safety notes, warranty, what you should do if you have extras or missing parts, the structure, dismantling, troubleshooting, converting sound fonts, updating fireware, advanced motion controls, neopixel and RGB instructions. Back when I got this, they had a sale because Mandalorian Season 3 was coming out, and they threw in this piece of Beskar, so I thought, why not do a 2-in-1 review? And this piece of Beskar you can pick up separately. I'll put a link in the description for that. It's about $30. It is very good detail and craftsmanship. The Imperial symbol right here. You can see all the waves that we have on both sides. And it is really heavy. I would say it weighs maybe 5 pounds. Maybe more, maybe less. But it feels really good, and this is definitely made out of some sort of, I want to say stainless steel, but it looks really good, and at least for the quality, it's worth the price. You will also receive an Allen key for taking out the electronics and for putting in the blade, and a blade plug, which is hollow inside, and this is the Saberforge option that comes free. It's got like a little this might be metal plastic piece on it that provides a little bit of shine through, and they do have other options, and their other options probably better quality, but they're $15, so I just went with this piece. You'll also be receiving a blade. You have your neopixel connector adapter piece right there. It's a nice white blade. with a tip at the very top. And you will get the lightsaber hilt yourself, but we'll go over this later. If you're new to the channel, then I would encourage you to check out some of my other lightsaber reviews. And if you've been watching around my videos for a while, then you will know that the Disney lightsabers they're good, but the smooth swing, clashing, and a few other things just aren't the most realistic. They do have a faster way to put on the blade, but I would more so recommend getting a custom saber. The custom sabers are going to be much more expensive than any of the Disney sabers, but I say that they're worth it. This hilt right here and everything that I just reviewed was around $415 for me, tax and shipping included, and I would say that it's definitely worth it. The hilt is much thinner than the Disney hilts, feels a lot better in hand, and it's very high quality. This is all high grade aluminum. Nothing on it's that sharp. Right around here by the buttons, you can see these corners. Those corners are a little bit sharp up here, and all the way at the very tip, these corners right here, I did snag my finger on them a few times, but other than that, it's a really good hilt, and overall I really like it. Now this Hunter's Creed, as you can see, is obviously created to look like a Mandalorian, with the helmet up here, and the rest of the body here, and here. Over here, you do have a cover tech wheel, and saberforge has many different options, and brass, black, weathered, silver, and gold. And they also have different designs on them. So as you can see, mine will be, it's a circle, oval, repeating the entire thing around. The button is kind of deep in here, but I don't have trouble pushing it. Back here at the very bottom, we do have holes for sound. And overall, it's a really nice hilt. This hilt has a lot of stuff that Disney does not. You can change the blade color, change the sound fonts, change how the blade style turns on. It's got a lot of different fun stuff that you can just do. And this electronic is called NeoPixel. The newer version of NeoPixel has an app that you can access and change all of that on the app, and it's a lot quicker than doing it by hand. If you would like to add your own soundtrack or lightsaber sound fonts or blade styles to this hilt, you can totally do that, but it will not work on a Mac. You will need a PC computer for the saberforge lightsaber. Since I do not have a PC, I have not added any of my own sound fonts on, and everything on the saber will be what you can have if you buy the saber as well. They also have an RGB variant, which is much cheaper than this NeoPixel version, but the NeoPixel is much more realistic looking. The blade is a NeoPixel blade, which means that it can have different blade effects, and it turns on, making it look really real and accurate, especially on camera, which I will show in just a second. But the RGB is baselit, which means you will have an adapter right in here to connect to the blade itself. The RGB will just be baselit, which is basically an extremely expensive flashlight with a bunch of our lightsaber sounds and things. But the NeoPixel adds much more real effect. In comparison, the Disney lightsaber versus the saberforge lightsaber. As you can tell, the saberforge lightsaber is much thinner than the Disney saber. The saberforge lightsaber is also much lighter. If you personally prefer the weight of the Disney saber, then don't worry, because this hilt will get heavier with the blade inserted, and there are other lightsaber companies whose lightsabers are heavier like the Disney sabers, even without the blade. So there's no need to get worried about that. Now, Saberforge has its own lightsaber belt clip that sadly will not work with the Disney sabers because their conversion rings are just a little bit too big. If you try to put it in, it won't go in. But it does slide in perfectly on the Saberforge one. It's just an easy slide in and slide out. The saberforge lightsabers also work with the Disney belt clip. Just slide in, and it will stay in there nice and clipped. Push the buttons to make it slide out. But the Disney lightsabers will work on this bottom section if they have a D-ring, because all D-rings will fit on a D-ring holder. So to put in this blade plug, just gonna come over here to the front of the saber, gently slide that in like this. You can push it all the way down in there like that, but what I like to do is have, as you can see, this little thin band around here. I like to mark it right around there. Take your tool and tighten that area. Just come over here and put it on that screw, and then tighten it. Once you feel resistance, continue to push until it's nice and locked in there. And now have your blade plug inside your saber. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the internals to show you what that looks like, and I'll show you how to do that. To access the internals, we're going to come back here, and this whole piece actually unscrews. I'm going to turn this. Now we have this bottom piece that we can put over to the side. Now you can see the speaker and part of the internals. If you come over here to this back side, you can see that there is a screw right here. Take your tool once again and just loosen the screw. Then come over here and push it on the side of the speaker. Then the entire electronics slide out with ease. If we come to this side, you can see this little light right here and the battery with the positive and negative charge. Do not mix those up. And then here you can see the speaker. If we come over here, you can see that these are the little pegs that connect it to the blade with the LEDs. Don't touch those with your fingers. This is the activation button. Come down here. This is your SD card that you can easily access, and this is your board. You can just remove the SD card, connect it in your computer, download the files, and then you can add new sound fonts, soundtracks, and things. You can just slide this all right back in. Come over here and make sure everything lines up like that. Come over here, take the screw, which will push up the button because it's very far down in there. The screw does have two different sides, as you can see. This side is the one you would insert. This side is the one that goes straight down. So you can see it's a little bit more pointed. Just start turning that with your fingers to get it all lined in. Then you can use the tool. So you can see this has now been pushed out a bit more. To activate the saber, you're going to hold down this button.
Power on.
Now the saber has been activated. Now you can go over a lot of different stuff with the saber on and off, but in this video I'm not going to be going over everything. If you would like to see what the rest of the saber can do, please check my next video. The button right here is this glowing red. It's completely pressable. Press it once, and then we have first sound font, which is of the dark saber. This one is much better, improved smooth swing of the Galaxy's Edge saber, so you can just hear this. You have gesture controls, which means you can either A, hold down this button to get it to turn off, tap that to turn on, or you can twist it off like this. And twist it right back on like you're revving a motorcycle. And off. There's also swing on. Stab on. So those are all ways to turn on the saber and off the saber without using the button. Now if you hold down the button for 1 second or one flash, you can change the sound style. So there is
Volume high. Volume low. Mute.
hold it down for 2 beeps.
Candy blade.
You can change the blade style.
Unstable. Cracked blade. Fire blade. Steady. Pulse.
Then if you hold it down for 3 seconds, we have
Blaster blade.
you can change the effects and ignition of the blade.
Morph ignition. Phaser ignition. Scavenger ignition. Hunter ignition. Standard blade.
Now, the new version, the NeoPixel V3, comes with an app for your phone that you can go through all this just by pushing buttons on the phone, and that makes it so much more simple. And if you hold this down for 4 seconds,
the assassin,
it will change the sound font. You can also change the sound font by holding the blade down and rotating.
the dark sword,
And if you hold it down for 10 seconds, the blade will go into power off mode.
the assassin,
Power off.
And you can push the button, but nothing happens. To hold it down,
Power on.
to reactivate it, I'm gonna go ahead and get the blade in. Just take your Allen key and screw that. Blade plug will come out. You will insert your blade. And now we can tap to activate. I'm gonna turn off my lights. So as you can see, it makes this cool Mandalorian face mask impression. Now, the button also does things while the saber blade is activated. You push it once and it will engage blaster block. It's hard to see it because the effects are white and the blade is white. If you hold it down for 2 seconds, it will change the blade color. See, this is red, pink, and white. And there we have it. Now, if you hold that down for 3 seconds, it will turn off. But we're still not done. So I'm gonna get this back on. We have Clash, which is a lot more sensitive than the Disney version, but you can just tap, and it's a lot more sensitive. Now, if you hold the button while you clash, you will have this. As you can see right there, these flashes, and that engages the lockup, and you can just stop it like this. If you hold the blade down for 1 second, it will engage in melt or tip drag, as you are melting through a door. If you run a 36-inch blade, you'll be able to see the very tip change in color, but this is a 32-inch blade, which means it doesn't have any effects on that. But it still is a pretty cool thing. Now, you will be able to change the color of the flash and everything else on a computer, the sound fonts, and your own music and other effects. But once again, it will not work on a Mac, which is what I have. So with a different color, you can see the thing. You can see the clash a lot better. You could see the blaster block and the clash, all in better light. Now, if you hold the blade, hold down the button and turn, you will get a force effect. You can see there's two lines running down the blade. They go the entire way, and it has a little effect. Each sound font will have a different one, and 2 sound fonts on this saber also have soundtracks that play. To get the soundtracks to activate, hold the saber straight up and down, hold down the button, and turn, and then a soundtrack will play. The 2 sound fonts each have 2 tracks, but, I mean, they are not good tracks. So when the saber is activated, if you have it pointed down, hold down the button and twist, you will engage in fast color change, which goes through some of the colors at a much faster rate. And if you'd like to see a comparison for that, with this one activated, Now, as you can tell, that the Disney one is not as bright or as vibrant, so we can turn this off. Get you Disney's. Both at the same time. Savi's is on bottom, saberforge is on top. So to answer many questions that y'all might have, are the Disney ones worth it when there are sabers like this out there? And yes, the Disney one from Savi's workshop, it is fun to change out the kyber crystal, and I think that everybody should go and build their own lightsaber once, because the experience is also really fun. If you want smooth swing and better clash and all those things, then I would go with a different company. Now, there are lots of companies out there. We have companies such as CC Sabers, Saberforge, TXQ, N Sabers, Neo Sabers, SP Sabers, Ultimate Works, and the list just goes on from there. The ones I mentioned are some of the most reliable saber places that I've found. I'm going to put a link in the description for every single one of those companies for those who would like to buy them. Expinal is this kind of saber sound. Other companies have it named differently, but it's still the same thing. Saberforge will have RGB and neopixel and things like that. Those are different from many other saber companies. Other saber companies will have Expinal, which is this one, RGB, which has less stuff, and that means that it's basically a powerful flashlight. It won't have as good as effects. And then there will be Profi, and some places have it labeled as like Neo Profi, but it's still all the exact same thing. Profi is the #1 saber electronics you can get because it is an open source board, which means you can customize any aspect about it and add your own things, though it is the most expensive kind. Stay tuned for my next video to see what all the sound fonts and styles do. I'm looking into getting a Profi saber, so if y'all want to see what that looks like, I'm going to be getting my hands on one hopefully soon. I'm going to be buying mine off of CC Sabers. Please like and subscribe. I'm the Legolorian, signing off.